First, to conviction. We believe that church planting is a gospel mandate. The Great Commission is to do what? Yeah, okay, I didn't hear that quite well. I heard from the bishop, but what is the Great Commission? Go make disciples. I became a church planter because I'm a Christian. I entered into the work of church planting. I'm passionate about the work of church planting because I am a Christian. And I pray that all of us would become so. And you might say, well, I'm not going to go out and plant a church. I have no interest in having church in a strip mall. And I would say, you don't have to. Church planting is a work of the whole church. Not one, not a group, not a small contingent, but the whole. We are Christians. We make disciples. And if you make disciples, you'll plant churches. The conviction must be so strong that it drives us to take great risks for the kingdom. The conviction must be so strong that it doesn't allow us to do otherwise. I'm sure that in this diocese you can speak to the many priests in this diocese that have planted churches. Could you raise your hand if you planted a church in the past? It's more than you would think. But I'm sure we can all say that it was a great blessing to us, and that we didn't do it without collaboration. Collaboration is essential. When I say collaboration, what I want to talk about is how we work together as united laborers for the kingdom in the work of church planting. Again, you might be one of those people who say, I have no interest in planting a church. And part of me wants to say, too bad. But the other part of me says, what a missed opportunity for such a great joy. I want to say to you today that the work of church planting is so fun, so exciting, so joyful, that I don't want to see anyone miss out on it. We need to collaborate together to be doing the work of church planting. That means that you can stay in the parish you're in, you don't have to leave it. In fact, I think one of the great visions that we can have as a diocese is to say, what would it look like if we started gathering together on Sunday evenings to plant churches where they do not exist without leaving our current parishes? And if you think this can't work, I've got news for you. It works all the time. It's what happens all the time. Next, a bit about culture. I was reminded in the excitement that we had about baseball this year of the invention of the farm system. The major leagues did not have a farm system in the early years. It's something that came about later, and it was a great invention. Why? Because it was a way of testing ball players before they stepped onto a major league field, which in the case of people like Ty Cobb didn't happen. They went straight to the majors. We have in this diocese a wonderful leadership pipeline that can be leveraged for the work of church planting. Training up young people, training up children for the work of church planting. I will never, ever forget the joy that it was to watch kids at Christ Church Waco set up chairs on a weekly basis. They loved it. They got a kick out of it. They felt like they were a part of things. And I'm sure that they will drive future vestries crazy when vestries complain about pews not having patio. Culture matters. As one author says, culture eats strategy for breakfast. It's very true. What does it mean, though? It means that, as Jesus puts it so clearly, God will not be mocked. What a man sows, that he also reaps. If we put church planting into the ground, what will happen? Church planting will grow. Church planting will result. I want to pitch this vision so strongly to you that if we think, eat, breathe church planting, it will happen. It needs to become the air we breathe. It needs to become our culture. And here's the good news. It has become that. And it could be that more. According to all the statistics we know, if a group of churches of 50 churches wants to survive, they will plant one church a year. One. That's to survive. If they want to grow, they'll plant 3. And if they want to thrive, they'll plant 5.
Wow.
I want to set it today as a goal that we as a diocese work towards planting 5 additional congregations a year. But I'm sure I can anticipate the questions, well, how do we get there? And the answer is, first, make it a conviction. We need to preach church planting. We need to teach church planting as a work of making disciples. We need to build up further this culture. And we need to collaborate together. But lastly, I want to talk about constructs. This is my least favorite thing, but it's something that is so necessary. We need to be organized as a diocese around the work of church planting. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that the old days when we used to look at a map and say, here's a pin on Hazlitt, we're going to plant a church there in 4 years. Guess what? Does it happen? No. Why? Because we're just pointing on a map. And if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. We need to be organized for this work. We need central vision. We need an office, I might say, of church planting. One of the goals that I want to set for the diocese is that we would have a full-time director of church planting. I do not want that job, but I would take it if I was asked. I simply want to say that someone has to be in charge. Someone has to be directing it. And as we found in the Diocese of the ACNA, when you have a dedicated staff member for church planting becomes a priority. So I want to put this in front of you, not to say let's get it done this year or next year or the following year, but as something to work towards. I found in the last year, thanks be to God, that I've been removed from my responsibility with regard to church planting, and I believe that's for freedom. I believe firmly that it's for freedom to collaborate with others to do this work through coaching, through raising up leaders, and I want to commit to you personally that if you are considering at all, and this is for lay people and clergy together, if you're considering at all the possibility that God might be calling you to plant a church in the coming years, I want to partner with you to do that. I want to offer you the resources and the expertise and the coaching and all those things. And I know that Bishop Bree joins me in that. We want to make sure you have everything you need. So please hear that. And I know that other church planters in the diocese, our hearts are with you. And our hands are in it with you. And so if you are being called in this direction, please don't hesitate to let me know about it. Please don't hesitate to jump in. Thank you.
Amen.